Carlson came out with his own network. Well, he had Alex Jones on the podcast. And dude, they got into some stuff on there. Like most people have not been exposed to this, I didn't think. And it now has 21 million views. And I don't know how many people watched the entirety of it, but ended up watching the full thing. Old Alex Jones is a character. Welcome back to the Riff Podcast Unscripted. Dude, I have a few things I want to talk about today. All right, first things first. I was working out, all right, as I always do. Every single day we work out, right? Actually, maybe every day, right? Sometimes Sundays I take off. Every 6 days a week I'm working out, okay? And when I work out, right, we've talked about this before, but I don't listen to music. Yeah. I never really listen to music. I listen to audiobooks or podcasts. Those two things, because I started that when I was training my Ironman, just for the fact if I like gaining knowledge or I like growing and learning more. But today, I've discovered more recently into X. Okay, yeah. Where before I think you've been on Twitter and X not X, but you've been on Twitter since like high school, right?
Yeah, I've been on for a while.
Yeah, and I know like Kobe, he was on there.
Yeah,
I know Tyson's on it. I never really got into it.
Yeah.
But after Elon Musk bought it, I was like, I like what he's doing. I'm going to support him. So I went and made an X account. And I've started kind of getting more into that. And, dude, it is a different ball game over there.
No, yeah. It was. It's funny because, like, when he bought it, like everyone kind of knew it was a middle finger to the other side, like, sort of.
Yeah.
Like, guess what? You can't filter us anymore.
Yeah.
But so it was kind of like everyone kind of knew what it was, but I don't think everyone realized how big of a deal it really is.
No, because what it did is there was and I'll get into kind of where I was going with the story in a second, but I just want to kind of go on this tangent. There was a mass megaphone from the left, from that side, right? From beliefs and ideas of the Silicon Valley elites that were in that Twitter realm, right?
Yeah.
And most of them are Democrats, right?
Yeah.
Blue. And they promote their ideas, which by all means, I'm all for people like having the freedom to promote their ideas. But what happened is they started censoring other ideas. And that's what I'm not for, right? Because what it did is it shifted what most people thought the world was that side.
Yeah.
Whereas what was crazy in 2016 during that whole cycle, what happened there? And it was like, wait, maybe there is some other, like maybe it's not that much that way. Like maybe there are real people, because when you walk around, you don't see that kind of stuff. But on social media, it was all of that.
Yeah.
And it's because these places were all located in one area. It was like a megaphone, right? It was like they could promote their ideas and what their beliefs were to the world.
I mean, when you ban a president of the United States off of your social media platform,
all of them.
Yeah.
All of them. Like how is that acceptable? And not only is it because it's not social media anymore, right? It's media.
Yeah.
And so was there ever a point in media in which they said the president cannot speak on our show? Right? Like what is that?
Yeah.
And so anyways, I got into X because of that. And as I did this, I've now seen, I don't know if it's a far right or if it is a modern platform, right? Like it's like the floodgates have been open, and did everyone from the far right only go to X, or do now I see the general public?
Yeah, it's hard to explain, because some people will be like, oh, now X is just a far right media platform. But really, it's just a media platform that allows you to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Which I guess if that's considered far right, then count me in.
I guess that's it, because now I see more like just ideas in general. It's not like with nothing provoked to one side or the other.
And my favorite thing about it is honestly the community notes. Have you seen those?
Yeah, where they'll
like correct anything.
People.
Like I've seen, like I'll see a tweet or like a video, and it'll say like, oh, this was in Palestine, whatever. I'm like, oh, dang, that's crazy. And then I'm like, actually, that's kind of sad or whatever. And then I scroll down, community notes, this was taken in 2016 in Afghanistan. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I would have believed that full-heartedly if that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And like, it's corrected Elon Musk on some of his tweets, so it's not biased. Like, if you're wrong, it'll correct you.
Yeah, and it's a good like sense of, because what is truth?
Yeah.
It comes down to what is truth, and truth is what the majority of the population agrees is truth.
Yeah.
That's what defines truth. It's not what God deems truth, because God isn't telling us what truth is. We have to establish what that is. And so that's the community. Community notes is that, establishing what truth is, instead of one guy coming out, like Harvard, for instance. Have you seen all this stuff with Harvard?
I don't think so.
Oh, they're getting in the deep end, dude, because they're supporting their whole war and everything is going on, dude. They're supporting one side.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough about it to go into detail, but I do know that they're taking sides, whatever. And in war, I kind of see as like, how about no side? But there's not war. Like, why don't we just mitigate all this so we don't have to go into war? But anyways, Harvard, right? I get all of these. I'm obviously a fitness guy, right? So I do research and try to figure out like what is science and what does data show is the best kind of research behind nutrition, behind training, all this stuff. And they are complete and utter liars. The Harvard like School of Nutrition, or whatever their science-based research is false. It does not like show the actual reality of it, and what they say and what they put on their like media is not real. They have this diagram, like the food pyramid.
Yeah.
They made their own Harvard food pyramid deal. It's the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Did you give it the time of day to like look at it though and like make 100%. Sure? Because like did you just see it and think that's wrong, or was there like someone else calling it out and you agreed with him?
No, I was doing the research basically of what is the best way for people to get the like clean nutrients as far as like factory farming goes.
Yeah.
Right. And I was looking into this for the program that I'm building. And when I was doing all this research, I got into like that nutrition, like what's a clean food, whatever. Harvard's right up there. They're like always top spot, right, in Google. So I click that because it's like .gov, harvard.gov or something like that. So click that. Sure enough, they pop up this and I didn't read into all the stuff, but the diagram clearly shows the food pyramid. First thing is health and wellness, or like exercise, right? That's the base pyramid. I'm like, okay, it's all right, that's good.
Yeah.
Right? Probably, it's a food pyramid, but okay, let's throw that in there. Cool. We're smart. Do that. Next one up above is like fruits and vegetables. All right. Then the next one on that, and it's like mixed.
Is this going like the most important to least important?
Yeah, most important to least important. And then it's got like oils, right? Like, and it says healthy oils. And I'm a complete, like, that is poison putting into your body. The calories that come in there, the toxins, the processing, all of oils, canola oil, they can include it as healthy oils. So they have healthy oils, and they have bread, and then they had like, I think, salmon or fish or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you go up again, and then it starts getting into like cheese, dairy, that sort of stuff. And then at the very top, like the one that you're like not supposed to have, they throw in like a Coke and red meat, like a steak.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're telling me that's the worst thing you can eat? Like, is it a Coke and red meat? Those are the absolute worst. They're saying the equivalent. Coca-Cola and a steak are equivalent. And I'm like, dude, this is hard. And so, I don't know, all this kind of stuff added in. Basically, I was on X looking through all their stuff, and Tucker Carlson came out with his own network. Mm-hmm. Like, he has Carlson on X, I think, or something like that. But he now has, like, TCN, I think. Tucker Carlson Network or something. That he's making on X, which is going to be a channel on X.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Well, he had Alex Jones on the podcast or on his show, whatever he did. And dude, they got into some stuff on there. I gotta just say, just not only like have I talked about some of this stuff, but like most people have not been exposed to this, I didn't think. And it now has 21 million views. And I don't know how many people watch the entirety of it, because X is kind of an annoying platform, not gonna lie. You need to figure out the like YouTube. You know how you like watch it and like get off of it, and
Oh yeah, and,
and if you got premium and stuff, like all that. Yeah, X annoyed me with it, but ended up watching the full thing. Old Alex Jones is a character. Have you heard some of the stuff that he said?
No, yeah, because Alex Jones, 5-10 years ago, he was basically referred to as the devil for most people.
Yeah.
Like, because he made jokes about Sandy Hook and
Columbine,
all that. Because he was also, maybe it was Columbine.
Yeah.
And because he's also kind of, he used to be kind of more of a comedian. Now he's going more towards.
Dude, he made me die laughing.
Yeah, he's funny.
They did some some throwbacks, and he was like yelling. It's good TV. It's good entertainment, dude. Like he was 100% a comedian, because he was like yelling and just complete. Like I've seen Alex Jones on Rogan before. I'm like, what is this? And then I heard him like talk about frogs and stuff, how the change in frogs ended up being true, all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, all right, he's got some crazy ideas that end up being true, cool. But if you listen to this Tucker Carlson interview, Tucker, I think, kind of brings him more to reality, to where he's like normal, I guess.
Yeah.
With talking with him, and the dude's just he's from Texas. He's from Austin, Texas. Just an average guy who looked into stuff, who like got to see a little bit. He said his uncle or something was part of organizations. Got to see a little bit into it and realized like how all of this is a master plan.
Yeah.
Like the way our society goes, the wars that happen, all of the things is like people like Schwab, for instance, this guy just completely dictating everything.
Yeah. That's what, and I've seen clips of, I think it was Andrew Tate talking about him. It was like, I think when X first kind of like Elon just bought it, and they were like doing those big like group calls with all like the super fan, like Elon, Andrew Tate, Alex, all them. And they're all in there. And as soon as Andrew joined, he's like, yeah, a lot of people say that Alex is a conspiracy theorist, but I think what conspiracy theorist means now is you're just ahead of the curve. Like, you know what's happening and no one believes you until it happens. And then they're like, oh, he got lucky. Oh, he did. But like, Alex seems like he's ahead of the curve.
Dude, and I think he is. And the reason why he's ahead of the curve is because he reads the shit that no one wants to read. Yeah. Which I don't know how you find any interest in that. I don't know why you do that. I guess he does it because he's probably discovered, oh, this stuff is real. Yeah. And that's what they showed on the Tucker Carlson's, he predicted 9/11. Yeah.
I think I'd heard something about that. But
he predicted it. He said in July that they are getting ready to do some sort of terrorist attack provoked by Al-Qaeda in the next couple months on U.S. ground. Yeah. He says all this on his show or whatever. And sure enough, happens. And he said, call the White House. Tell them that their plan isn't going to work. He's flipping out and stuff saying this. And then sure enough,
it worked.
And then he said stuff about like apparently, from what Carlson show has or what he shows was flashbacks of stuff that he says. And maybe, that's one of those things where I haven't watched all of his stuff, right? If you say so much stuff, like you just say everything, then something's going to actually hit.
It's kind of like The Simpsons. Like, have you seen all the things about how like The Simpsons predicts the future? Like a lot of stuff you see and you're like, holy shit, they did. But I wonder how many things that they put in their show that never happened.
Yeah, exactly. Which is where you can start going wrong with listening to that. So just be wary if you actually like listen to the full thing. Yeah. You start to be like, oh, we're done. It's doom and gloom. Yeah. And then it's like, well, we got to go get, like, you got to do everything to avoid this. Which I'm not saying, which that's kind of what he got to a point to where Tucker was like, dude, like, you've predicted all this stuff. Like, you're telling us this is going to happen. Like, why have you not just ran off and hid for the rest of your life? Like, why are you still doing this? Mm-hmm. And he was basically just like, he got to a point to where he wished he could run off and just go escape, but his whole life's been dedicated to this. Like, he did everything.
I was going to say, like, I don't think his goal is to save himself. It's to save
that's what he said,
the country, to save, like, I mean, he can run off, but then they win.
Yeah, and then they win. That's what he was saying. He's like, not that I'm trying to boast or anything, but it's kind of to a point to where, like, they say they knock me out, then they win. Yeah. And so I'm going to make sure that they don't knock me out unless they kill me. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the only way. And then, I don't know, which is, I guess, to each their own.
That's
but
what, and did you
for
watch
us?
Yeah. Like, did you watch the Andrew Tate and George Janko podcast.
Yeah.
Like, that one was good too. Like,
Did you watch that full?
yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I think I watched like probably like half or 3/4 of it until I stopped. But like, he was saying pretty much the same stuff. He was like, he's like, because George, he's like, are you scared? He's like, he didn't want to say yes. He's like, I am scared because I've used 2 of my lives. Yeah. He's like, they censor you, they put you in jail, and then you know what comes next. And he's like, I'm out of 2 lives.
And fortunately, actually, there's more of them.
Yeah.
Right? There's starting to be more. It used to just be Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Right? It used to just be Trump. Mm-hmm. Right? Now you got Andrew Tate. Now you got Elon Musk. Now you got Tucker Carlson. Now you got these guys that are actually speaking out and went from one. Like, back in 2000, it was Alex Jones. He was the only one that was conspiracy, all this. Now it's starting to expand. Heck, even a man Gadget, even like us right now talking about this, like, I believe him.
Yeah.
You know, and there's 21 million views on the episodes 4 days ago. Tucker Carlson's literally like Mr. Beast. He's just professional Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Like, he's pulling views, dude. He had 400 million views on him and Trump.
Yeah, I love how like unprofessional he is in some of his stuff too. Like,
dude, that's what
how he
people
cracks
like about
jokes
him.
And
yeah.
like, yeah,
and then the way he laughs is just like
his laugh is hilarious. Yeah,
but it's like real. It's cool. And so I see all that stuff, and it's like I don't know. Like I said, you don't run for the hills because there's no reason to do that. But he talked about the border in Texas and how they're sending Hamas people from they're importing them from overseas into Mexico. They're training them. Then they're bringing them over the border in Texas into the United States.
Yeah.
Which, like, why would that not be happening?
Yeah.
Like, that makes complete sense.
I'm
Like,
sure
why are they not closing the border now?
Yeah, I know.
Like, they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
And it makes complete sense. And then you're like, oh, that's 6 hours away, right? From our hometown that's 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, damn. They're sending that stuff in, and then they're going to, multiply or whatever, and that's what he said. He's like, in the next few years or so, he's like, for the election coming up, he's like, there's probably going to be something that comes in where it's going to take down this election to where they implement martial law. There's not going to be an election for this year.
Yeah.
So that way they can put their people in that they want, and Trump doesn't get elected.
Yeah.
A big crisis happens, big stadium blows up or whatever it is, something like that happens, millions of people are killed. Okay, we have to postpone the election.
And I don't even think it's going to be that, like, I don't think it's going to be a big explosion or big, like, I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. I think that's what happened last year. But it wasn't a big explosion. It was just, we need to do mail-in ballots this year.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
That's pretty much the same thing as not having an eletion. It's
the same thing. Yeah, bringing them in and then just saying, here's an ID, here you can go vote for who you want. Like, they're pouring them in for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, they're not closing it down anytime soon.
Yeah.
It's like,
and like, it sucks because like most people be like, I kind of have that theory in my head, like, what am I going to do about it? Like, you can't really do much.
Exactly.
Which is true because, like, to me, I'm like, what happens if there's no election and the same guy stays in office? If that happens, really nothing. But what's their bigger plan after that happens? So that's where it gets scary.
Exactly.
And then
what's going to happen in 4 years? Probably not much. It's 20 years, 15 years. It's when we have kids.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're at issues, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what he's talking about. That's what he said. He said what the plan that they implemented in 1970 ended up happening in 1980. One that they had in 1980, almost all of it happened in the 90s. In the 90s, almost all of it happened in the thousands. It just keeps on expanding. It's like they now have a plan out for 2030. They're going to cut off our electricity. They've already done it in Cape Town. That was terrible. It's like, like when I was down there, I was like, what is going on? They don't have electricity for half the day. People just accept it. It's the norm. Yeah, we can't upload videos at this certain time. Whatever. It's just like, you accept this? Like, this just happens? I guess, like, government provides electricity. So what do you do?
Yeah.
And that's going to, in the next 5-10 years, to say, actually, your cars, you can't have gasoline cars, only electric cars. We're banning all gasoline cars. And you say, like right now, if they turn off the electricity, we'd be pissed. And then they don't turn it on for a week. And then we're like, okay, we'll take it for 3 hours today. Like, just anything. Right? And that's how it ends up coming to. It's like, stop selling electric or gasoline cars.
Yeah. Ford,
no more. You have to only sell electric cars. And it's not what you can do about it because they got people who, the law enforcement enforces the law. And if that's the law, they have to enforce it.
Yeah. That's why it goes back to the how do you cook a frog thing. Like,
Slow.
they're not just going to, like, say no more gas cars.
No,
They're going to say
yeah.
less taxes for electric cars. They might already do that. And then,
Yeah, no, they do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't know they did that, and that's the first thing that comes to my mind, how they started.
Yeah,
like,
that's it, dude. Like, you can ride HOV with electric cars.
Like, they'll start giving benefits to electric cars, then they'll start giving punishments to gas cars, and then everyone just kind of weed them out on their own.
Emission tax.
And the few that are left, then they'll take them, because then there's not many left. And then
that's it, dude. They already started it. They already do it. Emission tax on gasoline cars. They give you tax advantages for electric cars. It's crazy.
That's funny. I legit had zero clue they did that, and I was like, "How would they start that?" Oh, they'd probably do this. Oh, it's already happening.
It's already happening, dude. And that's what they said. The next, I guess, it's 6 years now. Like, it's gonna be pretty much already implemented to where there's no change in it.
And most people are like, "I like electric cars. That's cool," but they don't understand, the big picture. Yeah,
big picture. Which is, here's the deal. I like electric cars, right? I still like that stuff. I love Tesla. Like, I love Elon Musk and what he's doing. Like, overall, I think there will be better for the world, but what comes with that is taking away my freedoms, which I do not like. So what I'll do is I'll get both.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just going to only have electric cars, then I'm controlled.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a backup gasoline 1969 Ferrari. Right? That has no electrics at all involved. It's just strictly mechanical. Still a cool car. Right, you could have this. If everything goes to shit, you can whip out your Ferrari 1969.
Yeah.
Nothing goes wrong. Your Tesla's screwed, but until anything goes wrong, you still have it there.
I do like there's an electric car company made by Elon Musk.
I do too.
There's some trust there.
It's trust. It's trust. It's all we have.
Which should there be? I don't know who you can trust, who you can't, but as of right now, I got a little bit of trust in Elon.
And he's the only one because he's free and open to talk to people.
Yeah.
Like, homie gets on these podcasts and we like actually listen to him. I guess Zuckerberg got on Rogan, which is a step, but Bill Gates, he never got on shit.
Yeah.
Right. And last on that, I guess, with Bill Gates is also farmland. So that's a big thing with nutrition. The reason why they're trying to push this whole thing of vegan, no red meats and all of that is because they want you to have no land.
Yeah.
No farmland. Because if you don't know how to grow crops, you don't know how to grow food, then you have to eat the food they give you.
Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about that when I was watching that Andrew Tate and George Janko podcast. You told me, you're talking about what should you invest in, and you're like, land, all the stuff you said.
Oh, there's 5 things.
Well, so you said those, and I was like, yeah, that's a good point. But it goes back to what Andrew said. He's like, I owned a house and cars and this, and they just take it. He's like, you don't own anything. He's like, all you own is your mind.
Yeah, your mind, your soul.
He's like, so I was like, so when you're like, you should invest in land, I'm like, yeah, you can, but at some point, if they want it, they're gonna have it.
So the reason why I said that is because the 5 things that you invest in. Real estate's the first one. Second one is guns and ammo. That comes with defending your real estate.
Yeah.
Right? Then oil. Oil, because oil can be used for anything to power like mechanical stuff. It's a fuel that you can burn, right?
Yeah.
Which burn, heat, thermal, that sort of stuff you need. Whiskey. Whiskey is on top of there because whiskey lasts for a long time. Not only that, if everything's going to shit, at least you could just wash the pain away, right? With whiskey. And then, what did I say? Oh, I guess guns and ammo put together. Yeah. So, I don't know. Not that it's doomsday, right? That for sure doomsday. Not that it's doomsday, but it's like we need to be awakened. We need to figure out like what's actually going on. And then when you're aware, then you can make decisions to where you don't put these people in office. You don't let all of these guys go down the border. Like, you defend against the border. You're like, oh, what's going on? Like, if you got a ranch in Texas, you're like, yeah, we're not. Like, I don't want to be. I'm not provoking war here, but some coyotes coming across my land, and no more coyotes.
Yeah.
Right? One of those type of things.
I mean, that's what we have a friend who's a ranch in Alpine, and he had that same situation. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, no mas.
Yeah.
No mas Hamas, right?
Yeah.
None of that. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Definitely would recommend listening to that and watching that. Tucker Carlson does a great job over on X. But if you like ours as well and you just got the synopsis of it, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We're here every Monday and Friday, and we'll continue to be for the dawn of time. Right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.